And now, listeners, just for you, on this very special episode, 1 minute and 9 seconds of public domain music for you to do whatever you want with.
Nice.
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 Ice.
Nine.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome to the 69th episode on Friday the 13th.
This is the most powerful an episode has ever been.
I think in terms of astrology, you would call this a confluence. Like something big is happening here.
Something really big. Something huge. Something like something
Mercury
as
is in retrograde. Something's going on.
Something massive is happening.
Because here's the thing, for Junkhouse to just have an episode that comes out on Friday the 13th, already magical. But
Yeah.
Great.
for it to be the 69th episode, that is the 69 of all things. That is the same thing as, just two people going down on each other at the same time. And that could be...
And on top of all that, during Cordell's OktoberFest.
This is, yes.
Wow. This is the most powerful episode. You're right.
This is the most powerful episode.
I think it would be safe to say this is our nicest episode.
Oh, nice.
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 I will say, we did watch, some of us watched 2 movies for this episode.
Yeah.
Some of us watched 1 movie and then approximately no more than 5 to 10 minutes of another movie before they felt like they wanted to throw up and they just went to bed instead.
You really didn't get far into that one, did you?
Nope. I will not say where I got to until we talk about that movie. But what movies did we watch, Cordell?
So, to kick off Oktoberfest, we watched an old classic. It was Frank Darabont's The Mist.
Ooh.
Excellent movie. Great ending, depending on your definition of the word great. And it's a classic. I think it's a really good monster movie. A very good example of the things that the 2000s did well and poorly with horror. And I think it's just an all-around good time. And then the second movie we watched, I think we all attempted it last night. 2 of us were successful in completing it.
Yeah.
2 of us got to completion. And it was Talk to Me. Directed by
the Philippo brothers.
Oh, there we go.
I have the Wikipedia pulled up for it because I was reading it to make sure I at least knew what was going on. But yeah, Danny and Michael Philippo.
Have they done anything else? I'm not familiar with those names.
I think they
didn't recognize it either.
They're Australian.
They're Australian. That was their directorial debut.
Wow. Okay.
They were both basically like crew workers before that. So like they were on the crew for the Babadook. They were on the crew for some other thing.
They apparently have had a YouTube channel since 2013. It's called like Raka Raka. Australians. But the channel is known for its live action horror comedy videos.
Oh.
And so I guess they've kind of been in the game and around it for years, and this is kind of their big one.
I thought I had heard of that. Maybe I had seen them around on some podcast or something. But yeah, okay. For their first like their directorial debut, holy shit.
That was really good.
But The Mist. That shit
we'll start there.
slaps.
It's
Well, both of the
really
movies
good
slapped.
movie. It's a really good movie.
Caleb, as our resident
Mm-hmm.
not really horror fan, I would
Mhm.
like to hear your thoughts on The Mist first.
I thought, for me personally, it was about as much as I could do grotesque horror wise. Specifically the spiders in the pharmacy. That was
Yeah.
kind of a lot.
Yeah.
But one thing that really stuck with me through the movie is that, I think even though we all didn't grow up in the same place necessarily, I think we all grew up with similar religious upbringings. And I knew people growing up that would be the crazy lady trying to convince everyone
Oh my God. Yeah.
that the mist taking over the town was God's retribution for the sins of the people.
Yeah. We might know a few of the same of those people.
We're probably, Sammy and I grew up in the same place, so we might know a few of the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Carmody is one of my favorite religious zealot villains in horror. I do think it is also, unfortunately, one of the aspects the movie handles the sloppiest.
Yeah.
Because you get like brief moments here and there of her like riling people up, and then suddenly she has diehard followers. Like there's no like slow people coming around to her. It's just like you kind of blink and her church grows. And I wish that we had more time to focus on the interpersonal stuff, because it's a lot of disjointed scenes of a little bit of development here and there. But that's the 2000s, right? Like that was kind of the thing they did pretty weak back in the day, was that they didn't always hit up the character development and like emotional arcs.
Well,
stuff.
I also think it stands. It's easy to point out that this is also this isn't her movie. This is
For
a
sure.
movie about David Drayton having to do all this.
That is true, and I appreciate that. That's a good point.
She is like the human antagonist of the story, so she is important. But you are correct. Like she is in the focus. Like there's probably in the short story. Stephen King probably wrote it a lot better and probably had more moments that they couldn't do. But
yeah, that's a good point. Like her primary function is to be the reason they need to leave the store.
yeah, exactly.
Rather than to like, because they don't really have a huge face off with her. Like they just leave. There's a good scene where they like, it comes down to that and they gotta leave, but it's not like the climax of the movie is necessarily them facing her down and like going to war with her followers.
It seems like one of them though, because like she almost kills one of their people. Like,
Yeah,
her people almost kill one of their people.
I would almost argue that part of what makes this movie so interesting is that it's not that there is one climax of the film. There's like 3 or 4 separate peaks where it's like you learn what the mist is. Okay, then you actually learn a little bit more. You see people leave the store, then you get that. So it's almost like you have peaks going throughout instead of one big like showdown between Drayton and Carmody and what's gonna
Yeah.
which I think a lesser film would treat it with like instead of multiple peaks it would be climax ending.
Yeah, because I mean, what we got to talk about, the big thing that everyone remembers The Mist for is the ending. And I think because it has that ending, the movie didn't and shouldn't have had any huge crazy climax. Like it is meant to end on that low note. So it kind of has smaller climaxes to give you resolution with those arcs, and then descends to the bleakness that everyone remembers from it.
Yeah.
Which, Sammy, would you like to tell the listeners? Spoilers, big time. But
we can go through, I mean, the entire plot a little bit real quick. Like the whole idea of the mist is that of course, most of the movie you don't know anything about it. But once you start getting information, it's like there's this military experiment or something that burst a door into another dimension, and they could not contain these monsters. So this mist forms over the town, and in the mist there's all of these different monsters. At the end of the movie, our main character with his son, I can't remember any of the other characters' names.
Like a pseudo love interest and 2 old people.
More like an emotional interest, because he's married, but she's the one that he connects to the best.
Yeah, a friendship interest, sister interest, whatever. They are driving in a car out of the town just to try and get away, trying to get out of the mist. The fuel tank hits empty. They're like, oh shit, okay, oh fuck, oh god. They start hearing this rumbling. The son is asleep, and there's this like flashback to him, because earlier in the movie the son is crying to his dad and he's saying, don't let the monsters get me. So dad has a gun, only has 4 bullets. So he goes, it zooms out of the car, and you just see the gunshots. And then it cuts back in, and he's like screaming, and he's like pounding, and he's so mad, and he's so destroyed. And then he gets out of the car, and it's just like, take me, monsters.
Yeah, he is screaming into the mist for them to come and finish the job and kill him.
And then a tank rolls out of the mist. And not only that, the mist like almost immediately starts leaving and evaporating away.
And you look, and there's like a tank, like a people mover. What is it's a truck. Wow, yeah. That's embarrassing. There's like a big truck full of survivors that they had encountered earlier in the film, who are safe and sound, and it's a brutal ending.
The first lady, there's this lady that's like, I left my kids at home. I thought I would only be gone for 5 minutes. She's safe with her kids on that truck. It's such a gut punch.
His wife and son and friends are all dead, and he killed most of them.
Yeah, he didn't fix the window to his house, so those spider monsters got into the house, and his wife died to those spider monsters.
Mm-hmm. Fun little tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 Walking Dead actors in this movie. And all 3 are in the first season of Walking Dead, which Frank Darabont helped direct.
Yeah. There's
So
also
clearly he liked them.
there's also a funny, interesting story about the black and white edition. So there's a director's cut that's in black and white, and everywhere you look online, it says that is the superior version. And there's a reason to why that is. Frank wanted it to be in black and white from the beginning. He was like, this needs to be shot on film and it needs to be black and white. And the studio goes, you gotta do it digitally and there's gotta be color. And he's like, could we at least settle on colored film? And they're like, okay, fine, sure. So he ended up shooting it on film with color, but still shooting it as black and white. So everything looks better and is lit way better on the black and white version if you can find it. I think if you can buy the DVD on Amazon, but it is better.
I am not gonna lie, and this may be a very controversial Caleb take. I fucking hated the ending. I was so pissed off. It is my
Yeah.
least favorite kind of ending, is the ending where everything sucks. Nobody gets a happy ending that you care about. Like, when I went to my wife and I was like, hey, I'm about to have to watch The Mist. Do you want to watch it with me? And she said, absolutely not. Because she had read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And so afterwards, I came back into the office because she was in here playing Baldur's Gate 3. And I was like, hey, that ending. And she was like, yeah, it's depressing as fuck. Now you know why I didn't want to watch it.
I will say, I consider the ending to kind of be the like nail in the head on the coffin of like the theme. The whole concept of the movie is, yeah, there's monsters outside, but it's when people are trapped together in a desperate situation, what kind of choices do they make? What do they turn to? And it's like that kind of portrays the very real thing that some people in a situation where I'm probably going to die by an external force, I'd rather do it myself. I mean, this is going to sound a little wild to say, but 9/11, like there were people jumping out of the towers
yeah.
rather than stay in them. So like it's a downer ending, but I think it kind of like perfectly encapsulates the theme of the movie of like people value agency more than the sliver of survival sometimes.
Especially when that external force is unknown.
Mm-hmm. Still a big old bummer. You got to watch something happy when you're done with it.
Yeah,
listen
you
to
do.
Pharrell.
I mean, like, it's kind of like, honestly, this book just kind of reminded me, like, the ending is just Lord of the Flies, honestly, where you have, like, the one kid that escapes. But, like, I hated that, too. That's like, I think it's just these endings where it's like, everything sucks, move on. I'm like,
sorry.
I'm like,
Be
dude,
depressed.
what? Like, I don't know. I think it's like I approach art like this as a means of escapism. And so when the world already really sucks, I don't want to be reminded how shitty it can be.
Yeah.
But
that's fair.
I think that's
understand
also a common thing of horror, though. And I think that's part of the reason I don't like the genre as much.
Horror is very much, most of the time, looking at how dark things can be, especially because of humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does remind me a little bit of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Because I know we've talked about the ending to Bodies, Bodies, Bodies before, where they've gone through it all. Only 2 of them survived the night, and then they see the video, and the first guy that got killed accidentally killed himself. And so it was just all of them being the people they truly were the whole time. And they're all terrible people doing terrible things. And it's like, that's the point of the movie, is to like hold a mirror up to you. And I think horror is really, really good as a genre of holding a mirror up to people and being like, hey, you got to be honest that this stuff is in us. Like, we are capable of terrible, terrible things. So, like, I don't do horror as escapism. I do it as, like, catharsis and, like, in a way, honesty, depending on what I'm watching. Like, it's not really about honesty. That's about a clown.
Great movie, though.
Really good movie. Like, I genuinely like the movie and think it's worth watching. It's just, be ready to watch something not fucking depressing afterwards.
Yeah. You're not going to love the talk to me conversation later then either.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
it's just part of it.
I would really, really, really like to talk about some dirty things now, because it's the 69th episode.
What if I told you that I got some words for you?
Some words?
Like, what kind of words?
What if I told you I got some dirty words for you that aren't actually dirty, and I want you guys to guess what they actually mean?
Oh, sick. I love it.
Okay. Are we working together? Or are we against
you guys are going to be working together on this one.
Okay.
In the spirit of 69.
Yeah, you guys
we're working together.
You're working
to have a
against.
satisfying experience.
Here's the thing. You're working against me. That's what it really is. I am the cuck in the corner of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So working against you is also getting you off.
Yes. If you get, I have 8 of them. So if you get at least 5 of them right, which is 1 over half, then I get to come, I guess is the
fuck yes.
thing.
Okay. I'm scared because it's.
I love the concept here that 69s aren't truly complete unless there's a cuck involved.
Yeah, you gotta hold
how
the
it
one.
is.
Yeah, I think
carry the one.
I think it's also carry the one. Yeah, a 70 is a 69 with a cuck watching.
Exactly.
Gosh, that's so good though. All right. You guys ready for this first one? There's no warm up on this.
Bring it.
Let's go.
It's just jizz.
No foreplay. Oh.
You guys can ask for the spelling of these as well.
What's the spelling?
Jizz. Jizz.
Isn't this that music in Star Wars?
Not anymore. That's Jats.
No.
They did it right before our 69th episode too. That's
Right?
the bummer.
Right?
This
one's jizz. And you can ask for 1 hint on each of these as well.
Can you use it in a sentence?
That would give it away too much.
I feel like it's kind of being used as just like stuff, like, and all that jazz and all that jizz.
I would agree with that. I'm trusting you.
You want to try that? Okay. Kind of as another word for like stuff or things.
Sorry, you're incorrect. If you would have asked for your hint, it probably would have helped. It would be that friend of the show, Carson White, probably knows this word because it is the overall impression or appearance of a bird is the jizz. The jizz of a bird.
Jizz?
The jizz of a bird.
Yo,
is,
that bird got some
the overall impression. The bird got some serious jizz going on it.
You ever see the amount of jizz on a peacock?
There's so much jizz.
So much.
Or a bush tit, so much jizz on it.
Don't get me started on a blue-footed boobies jizz. Oh god.
Tit.
You're telling me that male peacocks have so much jizz for their riz?
So much jizz for their riz.
All the more jizz you have as a bird, the more riz you have as a bird.
Exactly. It all goes up. Now, of course, the next one, we've already talked about jizz, so we have to talk about cum.
That's like, get over here.
C-U-M, that is the spelling.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's Latin.
Oh, like cum
That's
laude.
Latin. I think it's with. It's with. I feel like it's Latin for like, because it's like summa cum laude. Like that's like with honors, I think.
But isn't there just cum? Well, yeah, you're right. It
But
would be cum
you
laude
drop
and
the-
it would be
the-
with honors. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's with.
I-
Can we? Do you want to ask for a hint though? We didn't ask for a hint last.
Is it? It's one hint per question.
One hint per question, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Then of course. Yeah. Give us that hinty.
Hint, please.
It is Latin. You are correct in thinking
Oh.
that.
The hint was Latin. No.
That does at least confirm your suspicion of that I'm going with the Latin approach.
Yeah.
Then do we just want to say with?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
That is correct. The full
Yes.
full definition for cum or cum is
So strong.
combined with also used to describe things of a dual nature. So an example is if you do all your studying in your dining room, it is a dining cum study room. That is the actual term for it.
A dining
Right?
cum study room.
So when I do all of my sleeping and boning in my bedroom,
It is a boning cum sleeping room.
yes, it is. Yes.
Incredible. I'm gonna use that now forever.
Yeah. It's basically just anything where, so like summa cum laude, right? Study with honors. That's what
Gotcha.
That's what it does.
Oh.
It's using cum as with to combine. It's saying you did this and you did this, so it combines.
Oh,
So this
wow.
is a podcast, cum, my friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. We've talked about jizz. We've talked about cum. We of course have to talk about boners.
Those
I know
are those are skeletons. Those are skeleton enemies that you have to kill.
Funny joke, not our final answer.
Yeah, not our final answer. What is it, Cordell?
Well, do you know?
I just made a funny joke.
Okay.
I'm just here for jokes. I just work here.
So I know this one because there's an old Batman comic where the Joker is talking about the huge boner Batman made, and it's a mistake, an error.
That is one alternate definition. It's not the one that I have. I'll give it to you. I'll say that you still get the point, but I'm curious if you can get to what I have, if that makes sense. And I will give you the spelling. It is boner.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want a hint, Samantha?
Yeah, well, let's take that hint.
If you are a boner, you use a knife a lot in your work.
Like a butcher?
Oh, are you deboning fish?
You are deboning. You are a slaughterhouse employee in charge of deboning.
So if you're a slaughterhouse employee in charge of deboning and you make an error in deboning,
You're
then
a
you did
boner
a boner.
You're a boner who did a boner.
You're a boner who did a boner while boning. While deboning.
Yes.
And if you're having sex while deboning, you're a boner who made a boner while deboning while you're boning.
Be deboning something other than the person you're having sex with.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, in every brothel, there are plenty of employees in charge of deboning.
There has
So
to be.
it's also just become known as any employee of a slaughterhouse can be called a boner.
Good.
You know they did that because they thought it was funny.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
like, you know what? We're all boners
We're all
now.
boners
Well,
now.
everybody's a boner.
This one is easy. It's just fuck.
Spelling?
FUK.
Ooh. Country of origin?
Genuinely, I think British, but there's no direct way to find out.
Hint?
There's two possible hints, so I'm gonna go with the one that I find funnier. You can fuck with sheets. You can also fuck with wood.
Fuck with sheets.
And the second hint, Nami and Luffy really care about this fuck.
Is that One Piece?
That's One
That is a
Piece.
One Piece, yeah.
That's One Piece.
It's got to be nautical.
You can fuck with wood and with a sheet. Is it a sail?
Wait, is it?
You're close.
Oh.
It is a specific sail.
Oh, a main sail.
Yes, it is
Okay.
the main sail. It is the foremost sail of a ship. Is the
Okay.
fuck sheet and the fuck mast.
I've got a fucking mast.
my.
So you guys got boner, cum, and fuck so far. But can you
Yes.
get ejaculate?
Jaculate? Just
Ejaculate. Just ejaculate.
No E?
No E. Ejaculate.
Spelling.
Jaculate.
What if it's coming but it doesn't leave?
It just stays in the
Just stays there.
in the balls.
Just ejaculating.
Just
Oh.
jacking it, you know?
Well, I know that like you could, if you were J.K. Rowling and a moron, use ejaculate to mean said. So what could ejaculate?
a conversation.
Maybe speaking?
they
or like-
they ejaculated. The ejaculation on of these people was amazing.
Have we asked for a hint yet?
No, we've not.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Your hint is one word. Yeet.
Just send it.
Oh, like throwing something.
It is throwing something. The act of throwing is ejaculating. So if you ever
got
just want to
defenestration, you got
ejaculate, yeah.
It does make sense that ejaculate, you do ejaculate out. You throw it out.
You throw it out.
Yeah.
Also,
My joke was correct.
the prefix e can mean word. So ejaculate is throwing words.
Oh, I'm about to throw some
Yeah.
words hard right now.
I'm about
Yeah.
to ejaculate all over these listeners' ears.
Yeah, they've been listening. They've been listening to our ejaculate for a while now.
Yeah, I've started calling my sperms words.
I name all my sperm individually. It's very exhausting.
I'm gonna make you eat
Yeah.
these words.
Oh my god. I will say
Top tier
that
joke.
is 4. If you get one more, I get to come.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That means together and with.
That does me together.
I get to win.
I'm
What's
gonna
a,
with.
so, what's a cum bang?
A cum bang?
Cum bang.
Come my bang, come my bang. You're my butterfly, sugar baby.
Can you spell it?
Kumbang.
It's
Cum
like
bang.
a mukbang,
Mm.
but backwards.
Hint.
Hint.
It's not uncommon to have a cum bang in the desert.
It's definitely a music festival of some kind.
Yeah.
A cum bang, aka Coachella.
Yeah. I was thinking Burning
Lollapalooza is
Man,
the
but-
best comeback.
and a camel.
Oh, that's an
You know what?
interesting guess.
Go for it. Yeah, I got nothing.
Camel-
Unless it's a
I don't know if
hut
it's
of
an
some
actual
kind,
one.
like a place to keep cool.
Yeah, like an
Comeback.
oasis.
Oh,
Maybe that's my real guess. I don't know. I guess we'll say
Yeah,
Oasis.
tell us what it is. Yeah, Oasis.
The band.
It is actually the opposite of an oasis. I'm sorry. It's a hot, arid wind. It's a cum
Oh.
bang.
I got a lot of cum bang in my hair.
See, the
when
reason
was
I
in the
love that,
desert.
yeah, you can get a cum bang in your face, a cum bang all over your body.
In your crack.
You can get blown over by a cum bang if it's strong enough.
Oh, I
Mhm.
wish.
If you get a cum bang in the desert, there's a good chance sand is going where you don't want it.
hmm
Amen.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But
Caleb, how
not
many questions do we have left?
2 more, and you have to get
Okay.
one of them right for me to be able to come.
We can
I
do
think
it.
we should maybe edge Caleb.
Oh.
But
So
only
we
at 4.
There's
purposefully
only 2
get this
more
next
chance.
one wrong, and then we get the last one right.
Well, we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah.
Can you tell me what a bum fiddler is? To let you know, it's spelled
that's-
exactly how you think
I'm
it is.
I'm taking that. That's going on the soundboard. Can you tell me what a bum fiddler is? Now that's just a homeless person who's really good at the fiddler.
I bet it has to do with farting.
A homeless person who's really good at trumpet.
Or the fiddle.
I'll go ahead and
Um,
give you the hint because I don't think it'll help. All 3 of us are bum fiddlers.
Podcasters.
Entertainers.
Yeah, like comedians are entertainers. Maybe
Performers.
maybe fool. Something
Um,
more like that. Is Caleb making fun of us?
Like jesters.
Is that your
junkie
final answer?
jesters?
Sure.
Sorry to tell you, you're wrong. A bum fiddler is somebody who spoils the ending.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. That actually
Oh.
does make sense because the bum is
Yeah.
the end.
The end.
And fiddler,
Fiddler.
somebody who messes with something.
And
you
fiddlers
spoil.
suck.
Yeah, you spoil with some. You spoil something is the whole idea. So like
Well,
if
Caleb's edging.
Caleb's edging.
right now I'm edging and you only have one more to go before I either have to stay on this edge for all of the talk to me, or I'll get to come and I'll come in with a clear mind. So tell me what a glory hole is.
Mm, I feel like I used to
Spelled
know
like we
this.
imagine.
Spelled exactly how you imagine. One word altogether, glory hole.
Just give us that hint right off the bat too. We gotta hit the ground running.
Ooh. Okay. Glory hole is where you put something in to make it hot.
Is it an
Hmm.
oven?
I feel like it's, for some reason I'm thinking, and this might be too much. Tell me if this is too much, Cordell. I'm thinking something to do with like smithing. Like glory hole puts me with fire for some reason. Like oven,
Like
but like
kiln or an oven?
yeah, something more powerful than an oven.
A
My brain is
forge.
going to.
Forge, maybe.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
glory hole is
interesting.
where you put the sword to heat it up before you're smashing it. I don't know. Probably not.
I do, after we fail this and Caleb must continue edging, I do want to discuss the nature of the glory holes we're all imagining, because I've always had some logistical concerns.
Yeah. Yes, I would love to go into that as well.
Okay. The look of disappointment on Caleb's face was astounding. I feel like oven, forge, or kiln is probably where we got to go.
yeah.
Final
You
answer?
understand the concept we're going for here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. A glory hole is a hole in the side of a forge or kiln, typically used by blacksmiths
Yes!
or glass blowers.
Holy shit.
Yes!
Wow. I just knew that
Finally!
off the top.
Oh,
Wow.
so good. Oh, so good you guys did. Now you can use all these words in your everyday life. You can talk about You can
Glory
talk about
holes.
your boners. You can talk about your boner friends. You can ejaculate in public. You can
I ejaculate in
experience a
public all
cum
the
bang
time.
while bum fiddling your friends.
Now that doesn't sound that fun.
And then you can tell your wife all about the jizz that you saw today.
Oh, that jizz. Well, we'll tell Carson because Carson will. enjoy
Carson
the
will
jizz.
appreciate all the jizz that we get to talk about.
Carson probably experiences more jizz than the average person.
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say Carson does.
At
Yeah.
least of people
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, this also goes to like show what I always knew about bird watchers is that they experience a lot of jizz. I could tell. I knew the whole time that like if you're a big fan of birds, you're getting a lot of jizz
You get a lot of
very nearby
jizz.
all the time.
What an experience we have now knowing all of these words. So Cordell, you wanted to talk about the logistics
Yeah, we need to talk about the logistics.
Yeah. So like
of the dirty glory holes.
the dirty glory holes. My biggest logistical concern,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to try to approach this as like anatomically as possible to not make it like a little over the line here.
Mm-hmm.
How thick is the space you are traveling through to obtain the glory? Like how much shaft is being lost for this action? And is your whole body and face just pressed up against a wall?
I think it depends on the location of said glory hole. Of course, by the thickness. But I think most of the time you will be pretty close to the wall. But I think also a lot of times it's a thin wall. So you might not have to be completely smushed up against the wall to receive the pleasure.
Maybe it's more of like a thrusting situation, like you kind of like push your pelvis out more to
Yeah.
get to receive the glory of the glory hole.
Are there handholds for the wall so you do not lose your balance?
There gotta be some handles
It's
to hold on
always
to.
it's always gonna be in the handicap stall. So you can hold on to the handicap railings.
Okay, that's fair.
That
But at the end of the day, also, no matter what, it really depends on your size more than the size of the hole.
And that's the bigger concern here is like, must you just be exceptionally endowed to really get your money's worth out of this hole
I
in a
feel
wall?
like you have to at least be moderately endowed,
Yeah.
but not necessarily exceptionally.
Because it's like, especially like looking at like a bathroom stall, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good 3/4 to an inch that you're losing in transit. And I feel like that is a lot of erogenous space that is not going to be stimulated.
I think there's only one way to actually figure this out. We
Yeah.
do our live show at Elvis's Crank Palace.
Yeah.
Then we contact local sex stores in the area and we say, do you have one of these? Can we come look at it to find the logistics of a glory
Yes.
hole? And they'll probably say, what the fuck are you talking about?
What is wrong with you? And then at the show at Elvis's Crank Palace, we will tell the audience what we have learned about glory holes.
We will
Yeah.
get permission and we will tell them about it and we will have diagrams of how a glory hole will work.
Wow.
My
The next Shark Tank is going to be perfecting the glory hole. We have to
I
Yeah.
bet we
Prove
could
on
build
it.
a better glory hole.
We got to build it better.
Like
build it back better.
we could do this properly. Like imagine a whole wall that's a good normal thickness, and then there's an indented part where you have a less structurally stable portion, but instead of like wall, what you do is you have sort of a like latex kind of sheet.
I was also thinking
Instead-
like a latex sheet.
So that you can still get the experience and the anonymity, but you're not like that. There's almost no thickness lost.
Exactly. Wow.
My other logistical question is the other end of a glory hole. What is the glory on the other side?
It's just another person, right?
Yeah.
But which part of the person is
Just the whole.
Yeah,
Any
you-
part they want,
okay? So it is a choose your own adventure.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
guess
mean-
it's more of like the person giving the glory, so to speak. It's
Yeah.
more like they choose the adventure because
Yeah.
Yeah. what I was
Stereotypically,
meaning.
it's oral, but
Yeah, I don't know many people. 'Cause here's the other logistical concern is germs. And I know if you're using a glory hole, you're not worried about it. But like,
yeah.
I don't want any mucous membranes up against a bathroom stall.
That's why the glory hole of the future will have a self-cleaning mechanism.
Yeah. And if you've ever been in a hospital
Mm.
where they have the like UV light machine that bathes the whole room in it, we're going to have one of those.
Yeah. Well, because it's not
So-
like you're not using the glory hole 24/7. So there's a lot of downtime.
speak
the
for
cleaning.
yourself.
I think if we build a better glory hole, there is a line out the door.
Right? And that's just to be on the receiving end, you know. That's just the line going in. You know. Whoa.
Like I here's the other part of the better glory hole. Reciprocity needs to be a part of it. I think if you use it, you should be next in line to deliver it.
Exactly. I think that's
Because everyone wants to.
It's a
everyone
rotating
wants to-
wall.
Yeah.
So like
Uh,
as soon as you're done, it just like the whole wall rotates.
Well,
You
with
still
the
don't see the
latex, it
person.
doesn't need to rotate. It's still just a hole.
Yeah, no, but the whole wall rotates, and then the person that was, getting the good, if you know what I mean, is now just sitting there, and they got their dick out or whatever, and they're like, I guess it's my turn, and they get on down there, and they're like, all right, bring it in, like, come on.
You know,
oh my God.
it's funny that in starting this, I was like, I'm gonna try to keep us from crossing that line, and we crossed it so long ago.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's the point of the junk house.
I feel
at
like
this point.
Yeah.
the real glory hole we need is the portal gun from the Portal series.
Ooh, well,
Oh,
then
that's
you
what we
see the
need.
person.
Well, not if you make a tiny portal.
Ooh,
Teeny tiny
dick-sized
portal. Just big enough for dick and
Ooh.
balls.
Yeah, do you put your balls through the glory hole?
No,
I feel like you gotta.
I
no,
don't think that's the thing is none of them are
you do
balls
not.
size.
Yeah,
That's
It's
the glory
just-
hole of the future. Is it's got to be big enough to put dick and balls.
it's gotta be. You know
It's
what else?
gotta be.
You know what else is gonna fit dick and balls? When we read reviews, it's really bad. So guess the movie.
I thought you were gonna make a joke about the embalmed hand jerking somebody off.
Well, I had a
didn't-
quick one of these, so we're doing this one instead.
Gonna get
Okay.
a quickie.
This is a half star.
I will wait until you finish the review.
This is a half star review from the Terrible Twos. Honestly, really boring. The traps were cool, but the rest of it was just a bore.
That's a Saw movie.
Ding, ding, ding. I'm gonna go Saw X.
I'm gonna go Spiral.
I'll just give it to you. It was just Saw, but it was
Oh.
a Saw
Oh.
movie, and I was like, you're not gonna pick like out of one of them. You got it.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of Saw.
there's a
movies.
lot,
lot
of
of
Saw
Saw.
movies, but
Which
yeah,
is
I
weird
just
because
thought
there
it was
aren't
funny.
that many saws in real life. You know, there's a circular saw. There's
Concrete
a table
circular
saw.
Jigsaw.
There's jigsaw. That's where they got the name.
Whoa!
Oh,
Would you like to play a game?
Would you like to take wood shop?
Would you like
you
to
want to know a
talk to
fun
me?
fact about jigsaws?
What?
just really quick fun fact. They were never used to make jigsaw puzzles.
No, they don't make angles that quickly.
Yeah,
I can't.
Like you can't do a sharp turn with a jigsaw.
I'm destroyed over this fact. I'm
It's
devastated.
upsetting.
Just like the movie Talk to Me, it's upsetting. Look at that transition.
Yeah,
was really
it
good.
is
I liked
upsetting.
it.
It is upsetting. I did not get far
It
in
was-
this movie.
What point did you stop watching?
So I got to a point where there are two gentlemen named Cole and Duckett that are brothers. And this is very early in the movie. And Cole is searching for his brother. And when Duckett finds Cole, or when Cole finds Duckett, Duckett stabs him and then stabs himself in the face. And as soon as that happened, I said, no, I'm done.
It's the opening scene.
Listeners, that's the opening scene.
Yeah.
Like Sammy was saying, that was the first scene of the film.
And I
Just
ducked
to
out.
show. Yeah.
If Caleb had survived that first scene, I have two other guesses of where he would have dropped out. And that is the first time they use the hand and the main character, Mia, experiences it, and you see the kind of grotesque ghosts.
Yeah.
That might have been Caleb's drop moment. And if not then when the little brother gets very, 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 very violent toward himself while possessed.
Those were, Caleb and I were talking a little bit before the podcast, and those were the moments I was thinking of as well. I think other than that, it wasn't a great movie, but other than that, there wasn't that many scares for me.
No. It was not ultimately very scary. A little gorier than I prefer, but it was in short
same.
bursts, so I was able to handle it.
Yeah. That's just like the two things I don't like. The two horror tropes I don't like are a lot of gore and possession.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the movie.
Yeah. Quick rundown of the movie. There's this embalmed hand that once these teenagers put their hand on their hand on it and say, "Talk to me," they can see these ghosts. And then once they see the ghosts, they can say, "I let you in," and the ghosts go in them. And they kind of imply that it's like a drug. Like it feels good, or like it's weird enough that these kids keep going back and back to it.
They get possessed for a very brief, like they have like a 90-second limit before they like turn it off and like break the connection and blow out the candle. But it is very like the whole movie plays on kind of the Gen Z party scene and like the way that virality encourages certain really, really unhealthy actions while also like it is played up as a drug and like it is all these people who normally would not partake in such a thing feeling drawn to it because A, their circumstances, but B, because they see so many videos of other people experiencing it and want to try it.
Yeah.
And I really love the way the movie plays with reality.
Same.
Because it is well documented within the film and within all these videos that the talk to me works. Like you say it, you get possessed, your eyes change, you see a ghost, and then you do all this spooky stuff. And it is the point where the movie kind of starts being like conflicting is whenever the little brother like hurts himself so badly, because everything about that says possession.
Yeah.
But then later they're like, it was just an aneurysm. And it's like the more Mia starts to descend into, because whenever something goes wrong, they don't blow out the candle. And then Mia starts seeing the ghosts more and more and more and more.
Yeah. And when she was first doing it, she went past that limit of 90 seconds.
Yeah. So the movie plays with, is this happening because she broke rules? Or is this happening because her mother was mentally ill and committed suicide and Mia's still grieving? It's been 2 years. She's not super emotionally stable herself. Like, is this a movie depicting the kinds of things that can happen when people going through hardship turn to drug use? Or is she actually seeing ghosts?
Yeah. Man, it was so good.
It was really good.
It's a really good movie.
And to spoiler alert, we are going to bum fiddle real quick.
Yeah, we're going to bum fiddle hard.
Live on the air.
Bum fiddle away.
So the movie ends Mia becomes convinced because she keeps seeing what she believes to be the ghost of her mother, telling her that the little boy, her friend's brother who's in the hospital, is still possessed. And she comes to believe that he's being tortured forever by all of the evil spirits that they've been contacting, which also would explain why all the spirits are so messed up and depraved, is they're being tormented forever.
Yeah.
So she comes to believe the only way to save him is to kill the spirit in his body.
This is also after she stabbed her father in the neck with a pair of scissors.
Because she hallucinates him attacking her, and when he actually gets into the room and tries to help her, she stabs him right in the neck. So she takes the brother out to the freeway nearby and has him right in the wheelchair, sitting right there, like by the road. Her friend's running down, and the spirit of her mom, air quotes, we don't know what that thing was or if that was just her mind, is telling her like, hey, it's going to be okay. Do it. It'll be fine. And then Mia, instead of pushing him in, decides instead to throw herself into traffic. And what happens is she gets up. And it's you sort of think, oh, she survived. But then she's in the hospital again and no one's talking to her.
It flashes to her, the hospital.
Yeah. No one responds to her. And then everything goes black. And suddenly there's a little light, a little candle, and she moves toward it. And it is people in some Spanish-speaking country, it sounds like, at a different party. And it's a guy holding the hand. And he says, I let you in. And that's the end of the movie.
It's It's so good.
It's
like
so good.
Earlier in the movie, she's like, I keep on having this nightmare that I look in the mirror and I don't see myself, and nobody notices me in this world. And it comes to fruition when she's actually dead. And like, her dad survived, and they're all seeing her. She's seeing them in the hospital, and they don't see her. Also, right before the cut to black, if you're like to see where you don't know if she pushed him or if she put whatever happened, her mother says, and he'll be ours forever. Like, it says that she's like comforting her, and she's like, go ahead, do it, push him, and he'll be ours forever. And then it's the cut to black. And so it's all of this.
Yeah. So she makes the choice basically to take her own life rather than to get him.
It seemed like to me that it was the friend. Like, I couldn't tell if it was her jumping or if it was like the friend grabbed and pushed and fell.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The ambiguity is really good. There's so many layers to this movie, and that's what I love about it. Like, there is the drug use angle, there's the party scene, there is the mental illness, there is just grief, there's the cultural stuff, there's socioeconomic things going on. Like, it does what horror should do by like making you consider just a lot.
Yeah. The scariest thing is that they were Australian too.
Sure.
I'm
sorry.
terrified of Australia.
I can barely.
Oh, that was scary. Sorry.
Terrified.
That was, oh my gosh. It's also funny because anytime I watch like Canadian, British, Australian, there is the first couple minutes of the movie where my brain misses half the words.
Yeah.
And then after that, I understand them all. Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah, you got to lock in, you know?
Yeah. Your brain has to be like, this is English. I understand now.
It's different, but it's English. It's okay.
That's English.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Just from reading the plot and from hearing us talk, how scared do you think you would be out of 10? How scary does it seem to you out of 10, I guess, is better.
Out of 10, I'm going to give it a 9. I probably won't watch this movie.
Yeah.
Fair shit. You won't sleep.
Yeah. It's not... as the scaredy cat of the podcast, I once went into a corn maze with my mom and my brother, and a man wearing a pumpkin on his head walked at me the wrong way, and I was fully 17 and jumped into my mother's arms. So I don't think I can handle talk to me.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
fair.
just won't. But there are some things that I can handle. And one of them is Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat, which
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we get to use as our opening and closing theme song.
Great song.
It's a great song. It's off the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. It's a banger. Gotta listen to it.
And you know, if I got them, I'm gonna smoke them. Just like you should smoke our recommendation feed and rate us. Rate us highly on Spotify. Yeah, that went downhill fast. Yeah, if you could rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, that would be incredible. We also have
Be
TikTok
great.
and Twitter, both at Junkhouse Pod. So
Speaking
go check that
of addictive things like smoking or hands, I have an email to read to us.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a long one from
It's a
Carson.
long one. Wow.
If you will permit me, I will read this email.
Yeah.
I let you in.
Thank you. This is
He gets it.
from friend of the show, Carson. Hey, we were just talking about all that jizz.
Jizz Enjoyer Carson.
Jizz enjoyer
Massive
Carson.
jizz enjoyer.
The subject line is happy 6, spelled out, the letter D, and then 9 is in like the way Germans say no. Hello, Junk Busters. Hope you have been enjoying your 69th episode. What a solid milestone you have made it to. To celebrate and share in the spookies, I have a scary story of my own to pass along. Oh, I'm so excited. Every now and then, I will get sleep paralysis. Usually, I can get out of it quickly and shake it off. My first encounter with it, I was facing my wall as I heard the SpongeBob suspense music and Deep Moria Balrog drums. Sounds silly, but it was horrifying. My most terrifying one was a few months ago. I'd been going in and out of sleep paralysis this particular evening, most likely due to poor sleep that week. I'm facing my wife, and suddenly I'm frozen, and all I can do is see her. My vision closes in and focuses on her face. The rest is completely pitch black. Her face then begins to contort and become crackly, and she develops very jagged teeth. At this point, I have an out-of-body experience where I hear myself hyperventilating, and I remember thinking, yikes, that's not good. And as I am breathing heavy, my wife wakes up and looks over at me. She asks, "Are you okay?" But imagine there's a deep, raspy horror voice overlaying hers. This furthers my fear, and I suddenly snap out of my paralyzed state. It was only a handful of seconds, but it felt like an eternity. Seeing demons during sleep paralysis is pretty normal, but when it's your spouse, it's quite terrifying. Pro tip: if you get into sleep paralysis, focus on moving just a toe or finger. That should get you out. Also, researching sleep paralysis demons is scary and fascinating. Total strangers share what they see, and oftentimes is nearly identical. Makes you wonder if it's real or just coincidence. I don't know. But that's all for now. Bye. Love you all. Happy Oktoberfest.
Wow.
Wow, thank you, Carson.
I got chills. I got so many goosebumps.
Yeah, sleep. Have either of you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
No.
No, never.
I have not either, but I do have a similar experience to something Carson described that also sounds silly but was terrifying in the moment, if I may share.
Of course, yeah.
Of course. It's Friday the 13th, episode 69. Share.
Yeah.
One time I purchased an edible from somebody I did not know really well, which is a bad experience already.
Don't do that.
It was a bad time. I had friends that had purchased from this person before, so it wasn't just like randomly finding somebody, but it was like,
it wasn't
you know,
some creeper on the street. Hey, you want to buy a weed? Gimme.
no,
Hey, I got
no,
this edible for you.
It was a trustworthy source, but it was still
Yes,
somebody you didn't
theoretically.
know.
yes, somebody I did not know very well.
Yeah.
And so I went and enjoyed the edible. And it had something in it that probably was not weed. That I was not expecting, so I was not prepared to handle it. So I laid down in my bed because I was trying to get this to end. So I was like, if I fall asleep, I'll wake up and be fine.
Yeah.
That I could not feel my bed. I felt like I was
Mm.
floating.
Mm-hmm.
I could not feel the sheets or anything around me. And I was sleeping in my childhood bedroom, which had a VeggieTales poster on the wall.
Okay.
So all I
no.
saw was Bob and Larry from VeggieTales grow teeth and start to come towards me, trying to eat my face.
Oh.
That's good.
Very, very terrifying.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my god. I've just had some like spooky dreams. Like I remember I had this one where I was in a pyramid with the Scooby Gang.
Nice.
And at some point we had we're searching out the mystery, but it cut to all of the pyramid was now covered in flesh and grossness, and there was what is best described as a fleshy giant Zoroark. Like imagine that, but just flesh.
Gross.
And and that's the end of the dream.
So I hearkening back to Carson's email, the Jizz Master.
The Jizz King.
The Jizz King Carson.
Jizz
Hearkening
King
back
Carson.
to his email about the forums and reading about sleep paralysis demons. I am an avid enjoyer of all things spooky and scary and unnerving. But a little known fact about me, if you listen to this podcast, if you're my friend, you actually know this about me. I'm a massive skeptic of all of it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm fascinated. I love talking about it, watching it, thinking about it, getting spooked. I hardly believe in any of it.
Yeah.
And so I just got an idea. Because even as Carson was like, oh yeah, it's pretty spooky. Like, is it real or a coincidence or what? I had a rebuttal in mind. So with that in mind, I think after OktoberFest ends, we should have an episode where we try and debate and debunk spooky things.
Ooh, okay.
Like if we talk about hey, sleep paralysis demons, or why do we imagine similar ones? We could talk about that and have a good time doing well, is it because they're all real or is it because the human mind does similar things? I think that could be a really fun time.
I think that could be a fun time, yeah.
I think
Could
we definitely do that for sure. We do a pilot of that. And then when we can all get together, we get Caleb to come down and we go to Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Yes.
We do one of those debates in the haunted hotel.
Oh, I'm going to get a ghost to slap me.
Oh,
I did. I have stayed there.
I remember you
Emily
telling me that, yeah.
Yeah. Emily and I stayed there. And so this will be my spooky experience I'll share. And then I'll tell you how you can email us, just like our friend Carson. So I talk in my sleep. And Emily keeps a kind of running list of things I say and do while unconscious. And they're very funny. On this night, it is our first night in the haunted hotel. It is the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs.
Yeah.
Very haunted, a lot of cool history. We have, I think at this point, we checked in and did the ghost tour.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure we have done the ghost tour and we're in bed. And we're on the top floor of the hotel and we have a weird skylight that kind of casts a spooky light and looks like it goes on forever. So we're both uncomfortable. We're both creeped out. I fall asleep first, as I always do. And at one point, Emily is just barely about to fall asleep. She's finally not creeped out enough to doze. And I sit up and I look right behind her. And I say, "What is that?"
Fuck that.
And then
fuck
I
that.
laid back down and went to sleep. And she did not look.
Understandably so. Oh, wow. You asleep is a dick.
Yeah, I'm cruel. Sleeping me plays the pranks waking me would like never do.
Yeah, I would never even think of.
Yeah. I wouldn't even think to be that rude.
That's
God,
hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, Cordell, obviously, if you want to tell them where to email us, and then tell us what should we do to
Yeah, for
prepare
next
for
week.
the next week of Cordell's OktoberFest.
Okay. So, if you want to email us like the Jizz King has recently done, you can do that at junk. Poor guy. Now like enjoys birds. Now he's the Jizz King.
Knowing Carson, he'll love it. Like,
Okay, good.
I don't
Okay,
think
good.
he's gonna be upset.
Okay, cool. Jizz Master Flex Carson.
Yeah.
You want to email us like him, you can do that at junkhousemaiLbox@gmail.com. For the rest of the month and even forever on past that, share your scary things with us. Do you
Yeah.
get sleep paralyzed? Do you get waking paralyzed? Do you see ghosts? Have you seen ghosts? Has a little
Do
gremlin
kids
man
see ghosts?
Do your kids see ghosts? Do you see ghost kids? Has a little gremlin man crawled into your air ducts and whispered strange things in the night? I want to hear about it. I want to hear about all of it. Email us. And then also, in preparation for our debunkathon after Oktoberfest, email us things you would like us to debate.
Yes, good idea. Good idea.
Topics that you think we should look into and like have some good-natured debating about. Some jaculating at each other.
We might actually do
just
research.
ejaculating. We might research. That'll be the first time I ever research for this show.
Yeah.
Fair.
If you would like to watch along for Oktoberfest,
Yeah.
I'm thinking we got a week till we record again. I'm going to try to hit up 2 more movies.
Okay. I'm
Personally.
down. I'm big down.
Also, quick update. Emily and I have rewatched Haunting of Hill House, and we're watching Haunting of Bly Manor now for television.
Hell yeah.
I've been listening to Spooked as a podcast, and I've been reading Tomi by Junji Ito.
Ooh.
Good.
Yeah, I've got 2 more Junji Ito books that I'm going to read after Tomi as well. I've been kind of reading them at home so people in public don't see the gross pictures while I'm like drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So for film, I'm thinking we're gonna do maybe even 3, because one of them is Opal,
Okay.
and it's 12 minutes if
Oh,
Caleb
yeah.
told us correctly.
Yes, yeah, it is 12 minutes.
So I'm thinking Opal, Skinamarink, and Cabin in the Woods.
Wow.
2 I can watch.
Which one can't you watch? Is it Cabin in the Woods?
Skinamarink.
Oh.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
I read
makes
about
sense.
it.
I'll have
So-
to rewatch Skinamarink. I haven't seen that for months, but it's so good.
I've heard very conflicting thoughts on Skinamarink, interestingly, so I'm going to wait to see how I enjoy it watching it.
Yeah.
JunkhousemaiLbox@gmail.com is the email to get at us, because I don't think I heard Cordell actually say
Cordell
it.
did say it, but I'll also say
He
it.
did?
JunkhousemaiLbox@gmail.com. Now all 3 of us have said
I
it in
did
this
say
episode.
it, but I will say it again. JunkhousemaiLbox@gmail.com. Be just like the Jizz King.
Be
And
just
like we say,
and just
every
like we
single
Jizz
week.
King every week.
You ever get hit with a cum bang in the desert?
No, but I have ran over a kangaroo in Australia.
the white lines in the parking lots are just cum.
Bang.
Psychobilly freak out!